themselves are: let the Americans know that the Iranian nation is not one to surrender, and any military intervention on their part will undoubtedly result in irreparable damage. Those who are wise and familiar with Iran, its people and its history will never speak to this nation in the language of threats. And that, of course, comes after Trump himself suggested that Khamenei was an easy target and suggested they would hold off killing him for now, and demanded...
Just crazy. Trump is literally, think about this, he's literally tweeting out death threats. Yeah, no, really, like, he's like, we're not going to kill you for now, but we can do this.
Unconditional surrender. Now, I think many long-term observers of Iran would say to you that it's highly unlikely at any stage you would hear the Ayatollah or anyone in his security circle accept the notion of unconditional surrender, and how, of course, will that even practically occur with Israeli jets in the sky. But this statement, I think, it's clearly putting Iran in a position where it's not about to suddenly kowtow to any specific American demand. It is clearly not looking publicly here or beseeching America for some kind of diplomatic off-ramp. But you've got to bear in mind too, Sarah, the position and condition Iran is currently in. A significant part of its military and indeed nuclear scientists having been killed. That hierarchy.
Yeah, they're dead. I mean, I feel like they're not really in a position to negotiate a whole lot, right? I mean, I would say the United States purposely avoided assassinating Hitler too, by the way. Yeah. How are these countries so delusional? He's not delusional. He's just trying to look good for his people. That's all. He knows he's cooked. He knows he's cooked. Absolutely.
Gone, disrupted. Even the replacement chief of staff of the military killed in just the last 48 hours. Khamenei himself clearly dealing with the most existential crisis indeed of his career, with the Natanz enrichment plant heavily damaged, according to UN inspectors, speaking in the last 48 hours, by these Israeli strikes. And so they're now...
Well, your own people hate you. You're being bombed by not only a superior military force of Israel, but you're also being bombed by one of the most powerful countries, if not the most powerful country in the world, potentially. They're putting aircraft carriers around your country. All of the people that are supposed to be on your side are offering their thoughts and prayers and then telling everyone else to get out of your country before it's too late. You have all of the people that are part of your military leadership getting destroyed. You're trying to shoot missiles off and they keep blowing up the things that you're shooting the missiles out of. You're reduced to sitting underground in a bunker tweeting out AI fucking videos of Israel exploding. Like, yeah, he's cooked, man. He's absolutely cooked. He's done. Like,
as you can see,
really,
my client is.
It's my turn. Looking, I think, at their military arsenal, what indeed do they have left. Some experts we've been speaking to have suggested they had between 1,000 to 2,000 missiles that could hit Israel. They've possibly burned through 500, maybe 700 of those so far. So really doubts as to how much they have left that could be used as a deterrent against Israel, period. And I think that will be dictating a lot of their choices going forwards. They can't publicly give in, but there's not an awful lot potentially, as far as we know, they can do to deter the US and Israel in the days and weeks ahead.
I don't think that America and Israel should listen to anything other than a complete and absolute surrender from Iran. They are known liars. They've been making shit up constantly. All they do is tweet out propaganda. Nah, total surrender. That's not going to happen? Well, then I guess something else will have to happen. That's what we're planning? Yeah.
There is little time. Wind and breath.
Supreme Leader ratcheting up its war of words with you.
Do you want war? No, I don't want a war. Why would I want a war? Like, I don't want a prolonged military conflict. I want a surgical removal of the nuclear sites. Why would we want a prolonged military conflict in Iran? It's stupid. Like, why would you, like, yeah, of course not. A kinetic removal of the military sites. Exactly.
Morning, the U.S. military now surging its troops in the region. And two sources
You actually think
CNN
that's what
says
will happen,
President
though?
Trump is increasingly
It could,
warming
yeah.
to the idea of the U.S. using its military to strike Iran's nuclear facilities. Iran ramping up tough talk, as we mentioned just a short time ago. Iran's supreme leader warned that if the U.S. gets involved in the conflict, it will cause irreparable damage. That comes after President Trump said the Ayatollah would be an easy target and demanded Iran's unconditional surrender.
Yep.
Already, the U.S. is mobilizing forces, sending another aircraft carrier to the Middle East, and sources telling CNN the U.S. is deploying more than 30 aerial refueling tankers to the region as well. Overnight, Israel says it launched a new wave of strikes involving more than 50...
I don't know why your chatters can't understand that an air campaign doesn't mean a long war and military occupation. The reason why is because they're stupid. Or actually, they're not even stupid. A lot of them just don't know anything about what's happening. And I'm not an expert in this either, right? But compared to them, I am. And so a lot of the people that are making these arguments and like saying these different things, if I bring them up and bring up a counterpoint, they're like, well, I didn't know that. Well, yeah, of course. Alerts in Israel soon. I just got a phone notification. Oh boy. Woefully ignorant. Just got a preliminary. Just got another rocket alert. Uh-oh. Missile alert now? Uh-oh.
Jets on Iranian centrifuges and missile production sites, and new before and after satellite images obtained by CNN show the damage that the airstrikes have caused to Iran's military facilities. CNN chief international anchor Christian Amanpour joining me now. Christian, you look at this situation and what we're facing. What do you see as you see all of these things moving into place, the military moving things into place, Donald Trump warming to the idea of strikes? Do you see this going forward, that the U.S. is indeed going to take part in this war?
They absolutely will. It's going to happen.
It's hard to tell. Donald Trump says certain
Everybody
things
knows
and
it's going to happen.
he's making decisions with his closest advisors, and we don't know, sometimes from one day to the next what it will be. But you're absolutely correct that all the signals point to Donald Trump deciding to take part. And apparently, according to what you've just reported, the actual physical preps for such a deployment, contingency plans, so to speak, pre-positioning aircraft and other such equipment that might be necessary appears to be going on from what you've just said.
That's reasonable, though. I mean, they're going to do that with any type of potential conflict. That doesn't necessarily mean a whole lot.
The question, of course, is
it would be irresponsible for them not to.
Ronan Bergman, Maggie Haberman, and the others. It is very clear that, according to their reporting and according to all that we see and hear, Donald Trump is significantly influenced by Benjamin Netanyahu, who has wanted to do this for many, many decades, as we have been reporting. Donald Trump, we hear and we know because he said it, is seeing the successful military operation by Israel and thinking that maybe this is something to also take part in. The question, though, of course, is what is the end strategy and what is the wide goal, and does the United States and Israel share the same goal? Is Donald Trump also...
Partially, but not entirely. Israel's goal is much more all-encompassing with Iran, whereas I think our goal should be just simply to stop their nuclear facilities and get rid of that. Like, Israel has a much larger breadth of its goal, whereas we don't.
So in the regime change, or more precisely, the regime destruction business, as Israel is and as it keeps telegraphing. For instance, when Donald Trump posted that Khamenei, the so-called supreme leader, would be an easy target if they decided to go ahead, that is telegraphing the desire for that political assassination, should they desire to do that.
Of course they're going to do that.
Now, you've seen that Khamenei has responded and done the usual. Iran always says we will not surrender and we will, maintain our dignity, our sovereignty. The issue is with the Iranian people right now. There is a good deal of fear and panic. I have my own friends and family, not to mention others who I'm in touch with there, who are trying to follow instructions. It is impossible to evacuate a city of 10 million people. Just impossible. It's a completely irrational thing to say. So analysts are saying this is a sort of a psyop, if you like, to cause as much panic and chaos and damage to the regime's control right now by threatening, that many people, or subliminally threatening that many people, by bombing in various areas that may or may not have military targets, but also have quite a lot of civilian targets, many residential neighborhoods, and also by cutting and disrupting and hacking a current the financial system, where it's getting more and more difficult for Iranians to be able to get money out. They also don't have enough gasoline, even if they wanted to get into their cars, to actually escape en masse as they are being told to do.
Wow.
So this is the situation on the ground, and the real question is, what is the strategy? What is America's end goal, and what is Israel's end goal, and do they align?
Yeah, those are really good questions that need to be answered. There's also this question that I wanted to talk to you about, because
I think that partially they align, not entirely.
In touch with people in Iran, and you've been covering this region for such a very long time, many decades. One of the stated goals we are now hearing from Netanyahu is that not only does he want to get rid of the nuclear facilities that Iran has and its nuclear capabilities, but he is calling for regime change. What are you hearing from within Iran as Israel is also striking Iran?
Well, I mean, of course they want regime change. I mean, like, it's common sense that the regime said they want to blow them the fuck up and kill all of them. No fucking shit, they want to get rid of them. Duh. Of course.
And sending people into a panic.
Well, indeed, to follow up from what I was just saying, there is quite a lot of panic. Look, we've said it over and again, the majority of the Iranian people are fed up with this government, with this regime.
Yeah, they don't like it
I
either.
have personally covered the Green Revolution, the so-called Green Revolution, back in 2009, where people actually...
You gotta have some massive fucking balls to go against that government, man. Like, oh my God. Can you imagine that? Because they just go and kill people that disagree with them, right? I mean, it's one of those like crazy fucking like authoritarian places.
He came up to me as I was following them with cameras, running through the streets with these protesters in 2009, and they said, Madam, this time it's going to happen. But no, it didn't, because the regime used its police, military, and paramilitaries to crush that protest. I've been banned.
It's another good way to tell if you use the military to kill people that are protesting against you peacefully, you're generally the bad guy. Yeah. You generally are the bad guy.
Ever since for doing those reports on people's desires.
They killed 3,000 people.
So the question is, will they be able to come out now under a hail of bombardment and under the panic that I
said California? I said peacefully, not setting peacefully. That's a very important thing.
Because people don't know where the hits are going to happen, even if Israel says they're telegraphing. Remember, Gaza the same. They said they were telegraphing, but many people just found themselves going in circles and not knowing exactly where to go, over and over again, being told to evacuate under a hail of bombs and strikes. The second issue is, even though many people would like to see an end to this, do they want to see it? And you're seeing it on their internal discussions and Telegram, although even that is